Hey, how are you guys? This is Norris Streetman, and I've been here trying to promote some of my. Good morning to everybody. Just want to say I hope you're having a great Sunday. It's a beautiful day out here in Tulsa, Oklahoma, the film capital of the world. Uh, but what I'm here to do today is not only talk about film projects, but actually I've got some art, dog's art. That's what I call my gallery, Dog's Art Gallery, for sale to market to people that want to promote the film industry. Uh, One of the things about film work is you have to be willing to risk your emotions, your feelings, because anytime you're creating something new, now that's usually based either on a fictional character or a true character, um, either from a book or from within your mind that you've come up with this idea or someone else has come up with this idea. Uh, uh, One of the things that we have produced here recent is a story of Back to Tulsa. And it's kind of interesting how that all evolved. But Back to Tulsa came about me pitching an idea of a script that I had written to a former DreamWorks executive. And I showed him the script. There's 126 pages. And we talked about it. And it's about Will Rogers and Wiley Post, the epic lives and last hours. I mean, it's a pretty cool film. Actually, the last film that was ever done of Will Rogers was in 1953, and it was called the Will Rogers Story. And actually, Will Jr. was the one that starred in it, starred in as his father, Will Rogers. And a lot of times people have never heard of who is Will Rogers. Well, Will Rogers is a gentleman from Oklahoma, quarter Cherokee, uh, that became the biggest entertainment sensation in the 20th century. In 1935, he was a number one movie star. He was a number one radio talk show, had a show Sunday night. He was the number one syndicated columnist. He wrote 5 articles a week throughout 660 network of newspapers around the world. He was a keynote dinner speaker. This guy was everything when it comes to media. He knew how to write, and he did this in a kind of a corny fashion of all shucks. He kept that homespun talk, and people loved it. He didn't come across as of anything other than just an old boy that you would like as a best friend. And that was Will Rogers. Sad reality was Will and Wiley, one of his friends from Oklahoma, a pilot, one-eyed pilot, they crashed and died in 1935, August 15th, 1935. It devastated the whole world because everybody knew Will Rogers, and it was so impactful. So anyway, I pitched this screenplay to her, and she said, "Well, why don't you put together? Let's just see what you can do like right now." I said, "Like right now?" Well, like, what do you mean? He said, "I want to see how creative you are right now." And I said, "Well, what do you want me to do?" And she said, "I want you to put a short together. A short is less than 40 minutes." And I said, I can do that. What kind of what's the storyline? What's the plot line? What's the story all about? And she said, well, it's about an actor coming into town falling in love. I said, well, I can do that. Sure, I can write that. So I spent that weekend, wrote the script, started filming Monday. I can't say enough about my cinematographer, Blake Ross. Great cinematographer, great editor, just unbelievable. And so we started hammering this thing out, put the storyboard together, put this shot list together, put the locations together, and we started filming. Took us off and on about a month. And we narrowed it down into 8 minutes, 10 seconds. I mean, I wanted it fast. I wanted it quick. I didn't want it too slow. Sometimes you get these films that it's just driving you nuts because it's going so slow. You want to help push it along. And that wasn't the case here because it wasn't pushing it along. It was actually trying to massage it to kind of keep it nice and tight to keep the audience there. And so it was called Back. It is called Back to Tulsa. And so as I looked at it and I had other people look at it, everybody liked it, thought it was comical. I'm thinking, heck, I need to put this on the film festival circuit. And I need to reach out and start putting this out there. Well, there's roughly over 10,000 film festivals throughout the world. Not only just in the United States, but throughout the world, there's 10,000. And they start throughout the year. They start from February, I think Sundance is January 18th. It goes to January 29th. That's the beginning of the film festival circuit. And so right now, we're right in the middle of the film festival genre, and we're looking still. We've got about 2,500 film festivals to put this in. So what I'm doing, I'm reaching out and marketing my dog's art gallery. That's my stuff. My dog's art gallery. Dog's art. That's me. And so from the proceeds that I get from these dogs' art, this art, going to move the funds over into the film festival world, into the film production world that I'm in. And I need your help. I need you to step up and to buy some of this art. It's the coolest stuff. I mean, I'm going to start out with this one piece here, and this is from an individual from Tulsa, Oklahoma.
Hey, good morning to you. My name's Norris.
And so that is what's so cool about this.
That's what we want to do.
Is present to you stuff that is from Tulsa, Oklahoma, and is about art. I love this piece here. I got it sideways here. Well, actually, you can turn it any way you want, really. But I think it goes this way. Because you have the hills, the cliffs, you got the sun, you got the sky. It's all textured. It's a really cool texture. Either with a lot of paint or some type of palette that they put the texture on here. And I believe they've laid in some cloth in there to give it a little bit more design. And of course, there's some gold leaf here and there. Here you've got the sun glistening, the fire, the coming off the sun, And it's just, to me, it's one of these paintings that just brings to life. You know, you got sun in your life. You got the clouds, you got the sky, you got the ground, you got the dirt. It's just one of these cool pictures. And this girl, Jean Kelly, she painted this, and it's an original, and it's a really cool piece. Now you're asking me, well, what do you want for it? Well, this is what I'm looking for. I'm looking for someone to help me get my films out there to these film festivals. I want someone to be there that can help me and collaborate with me, with my film crew, on producing great product. You know, Back to Tulsa is such a cool story, and it's all about someone coming into Tulsa, not expecting anything other than just to work, and lo and behold, all of a sudden they fall in love with a little twist at the end. But this is a painting here. Now you got to like kind of modernistic film, not just film, but actually the photograph itself, the painting itself is it's not cubism. I would say it's more modern, simplistic design. But to me, it gives it a real impactful story to it. Uh, all about a personal connection. And you have to be almost personally, and I think you do have to be personally connected to film, to art, in order for it to really touch you. You know, you look at something, you know, we drive cars each day, and many times we look at the practicality of a car, and we look at the maybe not so much the look, because we can't afford the look. But and then some of us can, you know, buy what you want or buy what you have to have. I've got one friend of mine, he loves airplanes. So his deal is airplanes. He's got 3 airplanes. But his car, you look at his car, you feel sorry for him. So he's not into cars. I mean, you have to understand where you are in this place of life. And this is what I have kind of tapped into: storytelling. What is the story there? Whether it's fictional, whether it's factual. I like factual stuff. Of course, you always have to be a little bit more dramatic. You have to put a little theatrical spin on your uh, uh, on your factual stories, whether that's actual the you know the documentary style, or you know, the biopics like Elvis, like Oppenheimer, Christopher Nolan did. You've got these pieces out there that um, that are taken from books, that are taken from oral history, and that are developed into a episodic story. With Christopher Nolan, he's all about non-linear storytelling. And what I mean by that is he takes a story and breaks it down to multiple layers of timelines. Well, and I get that. And I understand uh, that that process of timelines. You know, here he was with Oppenheimer in a hearing about whether he should keep his uh, security clearance or not. And that was after the war. And then you go into the war where, you know, the general hires him to oversee these scientists as brightest minds in the world, and yet they were hard pressed to give him a security clearance because of his relations with the communist friends he had. Uh, he Oppenheimer was not a boring person. He reached out. He wanted to experience life. He loved numbers. He loved theory, and that's where he lived in his life. Um, and that's the same thing with art. That's the same thing with the film work. You have to love it. You have to embrace it. You know, the thing about creativity is sometimes you have to put things on hold. You have to put things on hold to get some kind of a thought process so you understand what it is you're creating. Uh, for instance, with stories, and I think human nature is, we are all about stories. Whether it's at the campfire or whether it's sitting around at the dinner table, or now with technology, you can sit at your home and download and stream all new and old movies, from the television, still the television. Now you've got the 70-inch LED microchip um, um, uh, television screens that are just unbelievable. This is one of my prints that I just love, the Mona Lisa. Isn't that cool? The Mona Lisa, Mona Lisa. And I'm reaching out to you to give me a offer on this, and understand that I love these pieces. These are something near and dear to me, but I need to fund my projects around the world. For instance, with a film festival, you've got to not only submit, and the submissions are anywhere from $50 to $200. Then once you get it approved, then you have to do the marketing, and the marketing can run anywhere from $500 per festival. Then, if you have any kind of awards, it's always nice to go and do Q&A and be able to pick up the awards. And you're looking at thousands going there. So I do need your help in buying some of these pieces of art. See something you like, text me, email me. I left my phone number, I left my email, I left all different types of contact information. As well as, you can see it on Back to Tulsa. I've got it on Film Freeway. That's the website that you use if you're if you're trying to get on the film festival. And so it's called Film Freeway, and I've got it in my descriptions also down there, so you can check that out for sure. So here you've got this wonderful piece, and it's even set on a canvas. And this was bought from Italy, and you can see it was a print, a very well done print. I don't know how they did it, but they did it high quality. Then they shellacked it, it looks like. It's not perfect, but it's cool. You know, it's one of these cool pieces. You know, pretty impressive. And of course, I have this cat here that wants to get involved. I I've got this ever since it was a baby, and I haven't named it yet. And so, if you guys have any ideas on a name, I would so much appreciate it. Um, I think it would be cool to name the cat, but I'm going to leave that up to you. Um, and so here's this Mona Lisa. Isn't that the coolest thing? I love it. I truly do. I love it. I love it to death. This is kind of a cartoonish character, and this is actually a painting. The purple cow, and of course the milk, and it's uh, uh, it's quite fun. It's quite fun. It's 20 by 30, and it is a painting. It is an original painting. And if you like this style, this is for you. So reach out to me, talk to me about these pieces, and let's see what we can do. I would love for you to participate in my film work. I would love for you to work with me on some of my projects. I've got a documentary I'm working on of Will Rogers and Wiley Poston. Yes, I do have a feature film. I have it scripted. Um, but I'm also working on a documentary of Will Rogers and Wiley Post, and I'm using historical characters. So I would like your help. Um, these film festivals, these productions are not inexpensive. Hiring the right people, getting people involved means a lot, helps a lot. And with your help, we can do all these things. So this is such a cool painting. If you like this style, some people do, some people don't. I like it. I'm kind of an eclectic collector. I like all types of artwork, and I appreciate everything. Um, there isn't anything I don't enjoy, um, and this is a cool piece here. If you're into dancers, ballerinas, isn't that beautiful? I love this piece. It's kind of a modernistic style that, as they're dancing, it looks like in a field of flowers. You can tell, they're practicing, they're spinning, they're looking at one another. Almost have this mushroom shape here. All have the same hairstyle, the look, and you just wonder, is it the same person? Only different images of them there. Isn't that cool? To me, what brings out a piece of art is where you're actually looking at it and you actually um, draw some type of emotion. I think it is so cool. I think it's really powerful stuff where you actually be able to pull from that. Oh my God. Isn't that wonderful? Don't I get something out of that? And that's it. I mean, you have to be able to grab something from these paintings. And you can always tell if it's an original, if it's painted, is because on the sides. You know, I've done some photography work. If you type in my name, Norris, Norris Streetman, Streetman, Osage, Osage. I did a photograph of the 5 living Osage chiefs. And how that came about was I was working on a screenplay um, about the Osage murders. And my grandpa was Sheriff of Osage County from 45 to 65. Um, we had a big ranch outside of Hominy, Oklahoma. And we, I've heard these stories, the 1920s called Reign of Terror. And of course, that's the film that has just been released. And so I sat down and wrote a screenplay. I went to the archives of the FBI and got all their documents together and read them and came up with the story, my story, how I perceived how the crimes were portrayed and how it reflected and affected the Osage from their point of view. And then what happened was, as I was doing this, I was also reading a book called The 5 Living Presidents. And I'm thinking, you know, there's 5 living Osage chiefs. I need to get them all together and take this photograph. And so that's what we did. August 28, 2:30, 2018. It's a great shot. So I got this idea now that I want to do another photograph. And this is the 5 civilized tribe chiefs. 5 civilized tribes. Now I've talked to them, and most of them have agreed. Instead of us shooting it here in the background of the trees, we're going to do it at the Capitol. So the Capitol building behind. It's just really spectacular shot, I think. Just unbelievable. So that's the plan. And so when I do a photograph, even when I do screenplays, I write. Not only write, of course you write, but I actually draw the I draw it out exactly how I see it happening. And usually it does happen the way I see it. It's amazing how things work out. So this piece here is an original. This is a pencil and Crayola drawing of the photograph that I want to do. And they're all in ribbon shirts. And it's just kind of one of those cool shots that I'm going to do one of these. So this is considered, I've got Dog's Art Gallery. That's my stuff. And it's for you to participate with, for you to participate in helping filmmakers move on, move forward. Production is one thing, hiring crew, cast is something that needs to be done. Then you get into the promotional part of it, the film festival part of it. That's another story in itself. It can cost just as much as production if you do it right. So I need your help. I need your help through Dog's Art Gallery sale to support this filmmaker here, support the projects I'm working on. And one of the projects I'm working on is called Back to Tulsa. And that's, we're putting it in film festivals right now. But, you know, I need some extra change to make it all happen. I can't do it by myself. I've got to have help, and I'm reaching out to you to ask for your help in making things happen. Now, this piece here I think, is really cool. It's a glass. It's glass. And I don't know quite how they did it, but I think it's pretty spectacular how they did it. They had to have blown it up and then put it on this sheet. It's so alive. It is so alive. Isn't it spectacular? Yeah. That's what art needs to do. That's what film needs to do, is touch you, make you feel what's really going on. Because if you don't have those feelings, if you don't have that sense of connection, it doesn't work. It really doesn't work. So I'm reaching out to you. My name's Norris Streetman. Dogs Art, supporting filmmakers. Reach out to me. My phone number's here, 918-313-8309. My email is here, norris@ablebuzz.com. Able, A-B-L-E, buzz, B-U-Z-Z.com. And I want to reach out to you. And if you got a name for my cat, we could sure, she would like to know who it is. She would like to know her name. She's a really sweet cat, too. So, until I talk to you soon, sooner than later, I will talk to you soon. Probably our next one is, I think it's like at 12 o'clock. 12 o'clock, yeah, 12 o'clock. Then we've got one at 2 o'clock. So, 3 o'clock. So join me.